Oh, all Sergeant Oddballs here. I just thought I'd do a little video after watching MC1 Gamer's bolt action video, and he mentioned Frostgrave. But then in his comments later, I seen that he was kind of thinking along the same idea I was on something. So I don't know. Maybe this video will be helpful to some people to give them some food for thought and whatnot. I'm not going to actually do a review of the book or anything. There's a gentleman, if you do a search and stuff, just for Frostgrave in general, that and probably a few of them that have gone through what the game's about. I'm just real quick, just giving some ideas of some helpful things for playing the game. I think in the back, if you go to Osprey's main site, what have you, you'll find all their games and stuff, their rule books, and you'll find erratas and stuff. This does have an errata in it. I would recommend anyone playing this to use the errata, because a simple spell like leap can sound and mean something different in the book than what they really intended it for, and so that in and of itself is worth having that to reference. I was playing it wrong the first game I played with Mark, because we didn't know about the errata, and I was throwing his wizards into pits and stuff and having fun with it. So, and you're only supposed to be able to affect your own people with that, as an example. So, yeah. Also, you'll find character sheets, or if you will, for your warbands. One has a wizard on it, one has a spell sheet, and one has one for your men that you have with your wizard and your apprentice. That's helpful. In the game, I actually will right over here make little hash marks for how many times I'm successful or whatever with my wizard or my apprentice, because you have to keep track of that. And then also on the site they have your spell cards. So these are very handy to refer to and have them out for your when you're playing your games, of course. And so you can print them off. I printed them off on some cardstock, but then I had some of these Munchkin size plastic protectors for Munchkin cards, and I never really had a use for them because I don't play Munchkin. I got them on accident, so I found a use for them. So that's what I have there. And I don't know if this video is lagging or what, but it keeps pulsing, so hopefully the video will come out okay. Over here, I recommend that if you have each player have their own book as well, just because of the spell situation. That aside, I recommend having some kind of counters. I use pennies because I'm cheap like that, but having some kind of counters as you do each individual guy and stuff, you put it by there so that at least you know that you've completed their actions and they're done for the turn. Because it does kind of get a little bit, did I move these guys? Did I do this or not? In the background, you might hear a cat annoying me. He decided to wake up and probably wants fed. And then on top of that, I've been just using some dice or something for now, but something to represent, like if you have spell effects or something that are in effect, counters or even models would be great, and whatnot. And then, of course, in the game, you only really need one die 20, but having multiple is useful. I also found a die 10, but actually we're thinking a die 8, 8-sided dice. Well, it would be handy because what we're doing in our games is the first warband we made, we basically just picked what we want. And then we thought, well, you know, if you pick what you want, and you're trying to powerhouse it or something, which we, in the first game, obviously don't know what we're doing, but if you really knew what spells you were going to max out your guy, you might have a tendency to play the same thing over and over again, and maybe neglect playing certain classes. So we decided that there are 10 classes, so we take a die 10, or this is a die 100, roll it, and that's what wizard class would be. So basically randomize it. And then we use the die 8 for the spells on the spell list as you go through them. And I think there's 8 each type, and then we just roll on there, and then re-roll the duplicates, and that's how we get our starting spells. That way, it makes it. You might get awesome spells, or you might get not so good spells, and then you have to kind of work through, you know, your stuff. We felt that was kind of realistic in a way too, that maybe your wizard had studied certain things and got good at certain things, but maybe not have realized, hey, this combination and this combination make me ungodly. And so then you have to actually try to strive to earn that to be able to be ungodly, as opposed to starting off with something that's going to make you a little bit more powerful. So that was just our idea on the randomization with that. And then finally, MC1 Wargamer alluded to this. A lot of people using Reaper bones and stuff for your figures and whatnot for your warbands. As you can see here is one of my warbands with some extra like demon stuff that they can cast. I'm using like this guy for like an imp for now. This is just a regular one, human-sized one. And then this here is like, he might be the same as her if I wanted to, or maybe a greater. I do have Warhammer Greater Demons to use, but I don't know if I will or not. And then like supplementing everyone's a human, but doesn't mean you have to really stick to that. Now this is an archer. I decided to use a little skink. He's part of the party. They can kind of give the party a little bit of a character, the barbarian and different things there. Some of those are painted already by D&D figures. And then over here, my lighting's bad, I apologize, is a Skaven or a Ratman warband that I've played here on my third game. And I don't have the greatest figures as of yet. These were kind of some Wardheim guys I was going to use at one time or whatever. This guy with his hand up, an example, was my wizard. They were like chronomancers, so they generally can dress like however they want, and then they like to carry swords. So I figured, well, these guys are going to have count as a sword and a dagger, so the two weapons, and then they're of course, the wizard and the apprentice. And then these guys with the slings are bowmen. All these guys happen to be like archers, I think. And then all the guys that I had that were regular old-fashioned Skaven there are, I made them all, dang it, what are they called? Not thugs, but I think thieves. Yes, sorry, my brain was fried. So I got a bunch of thieves in there. And I figured that would be fitting with that warband, especially starting off, being that they're ratmen. So they'd be thieves, and they would get the extra movement and act like more like thieves, because rats are bastards and tear up my camper and steal stuff. They took my Yoda that was in my camper, a little Yoda about yay big, and took him to their nest and did nasty things to him. So I don't really like rats that much, so yeah, so I figured I'd theme them off of a bunch of thieves and little rat bastards and stuff. So yeah, so my point is, I'm thinking about making a chaos warband, like kind of like, well, you can tell I'm a Warhammer player, pre-Age of Sigmar. I still play the old stuff in Kings of War, but I haven't got I would give Age of Sigmar a chance to play if I could find a player to play it with, but and then there's a pirate warband I might want to start. I've got a dwarf warband, and they're all counted as humans, just for flavor and make it look more fantasy-like. And then you want lots of terrain, of course. I found this company here, Miniature Market sells them. Novos Design Studio. This one here was for medieval drinking trough. Basically, if my lighting will hold up, they sell stuff like that. They're not the fences, but the stuff back there with the outhouses and the well, and there's like actually a more modernistic objective counter, a forge, and of course there's a bridge back there in the back. All those things I felt could be useful especially if you wanted to theme it specifically for this game. I did mine with green stuff on there because I want to be able to use it for other things besides Frostgrave. So, with that said, you want to have lots of different terrain to put in, so not only ruins, but other things of interest, and I thought those would add some things of interest to our games. For now, I have this piece of plywood that some of you guys in the video was gray. I have mats and stuff, of course, but I just took some paint and just white paint and just kind of make it look like it's, maybe thawing out a little bit to kind of fit the game. And then I have a board a real quick and easy board to use for this game. I also thought about cutting white pieces of felt in various sizes and shapes with the same kind of thing in mind. And maybe the terrain that I have green grass and whatnot, I can lay it down and overlap it so it doesn't look totally off in the setting. And get, again, multiple use out of that stuff, because I'm about using multiple use for my models and things these days. Then, of course, finally, your objective counters. Man, my lighting really sucks, I think. But I apologize. This is my cell phone. This is an old Mordheim treasure chest. Unfortunately, I think I just have the one left. You could make... my friend Mark, you guys seen him on some bolt action videos. He made some out of cardboard and then some just miscellaneous shiny stuff in there, and maybe some extra swords and things hanging around. And so that you can lay these out for your treasure and then pick them up and put them by your guy so you know he has the treasure when they leave. And so that's another idea. And then the other idea with treasures that we had was instead of putting them out, and maybe there's some scenarios we haven't seen yet, but instead of putting them out where everyone can see it's a treasure, do it more like the Mordheim fashion where you have hidden markers. And some markers have treasure and some don't, so you're not just running for the three closest treasures, let's say, in a two-player game, and the other person's running for his 3, and basically you're trying to figure out, is there really a reason to fight? So it might randomize, and you don't know when you're setting it down if it's a legit treasure or not, so it makes it a little bit more interesting. But I told Mark, get off, nag. So my friend Mark might want to do something to limit the size of the turns of the game for that. Maybe make a we were kind of discussed maybe having we're going to play the game for 2 hours, and we'll put these hidden treasure objectives, and whoever either if we get all the treasure off the board, great, we meet it just as normal. But if that 2 hours meets, the game is complete, and whoever has the most treasure, of course, is going to be the winner. And then you just go to your finish up your campaign and writing up what all loots and stuff you got. So yeah, that was an idea there for the treasure. And then, of course, finally we had an idea of making some, and I'll put them up on the video if we do anything interesting outside of like a bat rep. But we were thinking about, you don't have to just play this game in Frostgrave setting. You can play it in a nice lush setting. The rules are open for whatever you want to do. It just they happen to set it there. So you can play Frostgrave in different settings. Maybe they're found in another area that they could find treasure from. And also, you could, like we were saying, maybe set up a couple of ships, make some scratch-built ships, and then have the ships sitting in a dock or whatever. And then your objective was to your party's at the docking area of Frostgrave, and your warband is going to ambush another warband, because basically, why do all the work? Let them do all the work, and you just take it from them. So doing scenarios like that, or have 2 ships engaging on the outskirts of Frostgrave doing the same thing, so you have some ship in the sea type, multiple level things going on. So I don't know if anyone's going to be thinking along the same lines of that, but I thought it was interesting, and maybe I generate some ideas. If I do generate that idea and you go through with it, just please tell them my name if you would. Just it'd be kind of cool to hear that someone got an idea from me. But if not, I'd love to see whatever people come up with. So, all right, well that's it. Hopefully this will upload, and I'll look forward to more Frostgrave. And then, of course, I'll have more bolt action and all that stuff as I get a chance. This is just kind of a quick video I threw up while dealing with some real life stuff I'm doing right now. So, all right, thanks for watching. More to come later.